stereotypes about women in competitive sports are disappearing quickly. Very quickly, according to Susan Spencer of 48 Hours.
It's an ordinary weekend, and 33-year-old Melanie Troxel is getting ready for a short trip. A very short trip. Blink, and you'll miss it.
It's the original extreme sport, you know. I mean, we're really pushing everything to the limit out here. These cars cover the quarter mile from a standing stop to 330 miles an hour, and they do it in 4.5 seconds.
You might call her racing's newest drag queen. Fastest speed, quickest time.
And Melanie Troxel has her first career win.
In her first full year, she's made history by qualifying for the finals in the first 5 races, far ahead of her mostly male competitors. She's racing in the National Hot Rod Association's Powerade Series, 23 races held around the country each year. And her specialty is this. The Top Fuel Dragster. Its behemoth 7,000 horsepower engine runs on nitromethane.
How does the G-force compare to, say, the space shuttle? You know?
This actually pulls harder than the space shuttle does. This accelerates faster than anything on Earth. So it's pretty incredible ride.
Why don't you just strap 2 rockets on your back, you know?
If that was an option, I might try that too.
Looking at the old yearbook, who would have guessed? Well, everyone really, since Troxel practically grew up at the track. Her father, Mike, was a champion driver. Her mother, Barb, a mechanic who once gave her an engine as a gift.
We went to the racetrack every weekend and just assumed that that's what everybody else did, and that's what our whole family life, you know, centered around.
As life does today, husband Tommy Johnson Jr. races as well in what are called funny cars. The two do not compete against each other, and that may be a good thing. How fast do you go?
Feel like
now that you ask.
How fast do you go?
331 is my best.
331?
He's gone 1 mile an hour quicker than I have. He's using that up for all it's worth right now. It's a good thing we're not racing against each other.
You could never race against each other. But blasting from 0 to 100 miles an hour in under 1 second, topping 300 miles an hour even for a few seconds, is undeniably a risky way to make a living. Ouch. Remarkably, these drivers all walked away. But risk clearly is part of the appeal. That and the challenge of keeping a car on the track when it wants to fly.
To feel the amount of power that these cars are putting out, that it literally, from the outside of the car, literally vibrates your internal organs when these cars leave the starting line. And I know that's something that's tough for a lot of people to comprehend, but
or to imagine someone enjoying that.
It is, though. I mean, you have to come see it in person. You can't get that from TV. It's just such a sensory sport. You know, the sight, the sound, the vibrations, every part of it. But I'm kind of biased because I'm you know, absolutely in love with the sport.
Millions of Americans share her love for drag racing, this uniquely American sport.
Hot rodding is growing and is apparently here to stay.
But for decades, it was strictly for the guys.
Get your line!
James Dean's Rebel might have had a cause if Natalie Wood had tried to drive. After all, in the movies, from Rebel Without a Cause to American Graffiti, winning the race made you a man.
Now leave her out of this. This is just between you and me.
That attitude held until the late 70s, when a pioneer named Shirley Muldowney started winning National Hot Rod Association championships. These days, sponsors are targeting women, and women racers compete in every category from funny cars to motorcycles.
In the beginning, it was very tough.
Angel Sampi, first this year in pro stock motorcycling, has been racing since she was 6.
You know, the guys trying to get me kicked out. They thought I was too little. I wasn't strong enough. We even had some vandalism on our trailer. You know, anything they could do to get rid of me. But that changed really quickly. The more races we won, and especially after 3 championships. Now, when I put the helmet on the starting line, those guys don't care. They just want to beat me. They don't care if it's a guy or a girl anymore.
Stand back.
Yep.
And Melanie Troxel agrees. Racing writers voted her top racer of the season so far. That's for all motorsports, including even NASCAR. It's the first time a woman ever has won that honor.
I'm still waiting to wake up here. Every day I wonder when we're going to wake up from all this. It's so incredible.
When it comes to putting women in the driver's seat, drag racing, once that most macho of sports, seems to be wide awake already.